Henry Winkler that says, if you stay long enough at the table, eventually it's your turn to eat. And I don't look at people who've been in this business 20, 30 years as competition. I look at them as mutual survivors. It is a tough industry.
That's true.
So any long-term friendship in this business is gold. And we have with us today a long-term friend. I can't wait for you to for us all to talk.
Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of Making It. My name is Kenan Cooley, and I'm with the illustrious
Alvin Shia. Oh my goodness, Kenan, I'm excited about today.
You're always excited, Alvin, but what's about today?
I am. Well, because, you know, in my business, there's the funny thing that happens with sticking around this business. I think it was Henry Winkler that says, if you stay long enough at the table, eventually it's your turn to eat. And I don't look at people who've been in this business 20, 30 years as competition. I look at them as mutual survivors. It is a tough industry.
That's true.
So any long-term friendship in this business is gold. And we have with us today a long-term friend. I can't wait for you to for us all to talk.
Yeah, so you guys have a lot of history on and off camera, behind the scenes.
Oh man,
right?
Yeah,
okay.
If we were to run this show on an R-rated network, we'd be covered because this guy's got stories on me that cannot be told on camera. But it is so absolutely
maybe
amazing.
We'll talk after.
G-rated show. Yes. So without further ado.
Okay. Mr. Jonathan Slocumb.
Welcome.
Oh, wait.
He's the only one that could get away with doing that. He's the only one. Matter of fact, there's going to be several things today that he's the only one who can get away with it.
Who's going to get away with it?
Yes, I can already tell.
What's happening, everybody?
Welcome.
Hello,
Jay.
Mr. Slocumb. How are you?
The name is Jonathan, henceforth and forevermore.
Okay.
Now,
you have a distinguished spirit, so you know.
We're going to get this all the way out of the way. Up front, or Jonathan is my inspiration for the gray winter wool. Yes,
absolutely.
Specifically, last year at this time, I was still deep into the dyeing, and Jonathan's like, "Brother, let it go. Let it go."
Let it go. I am a poster child for I want all men, especially black men, to embrace maturity and all that comes with it.
True.
I love it.
I feel like at this point you guys have earned it. I think you should just
that's true. Same thing to women, but it's the thing for me is it's okay to embrace it. And fortunately, people are very accepting of it. Like it even makes
I was surprised. I was actually surprised. I asked people and they were like, yeah, keep it. Yeah, you gotta do it. One of them was like, well, you might as well ask your wife. I'm like, she doesn't check with me for her hairstyle. I'm doing what I'm gonna do.
But I guarantee your wife likes it better that way.
She does. She's a big goatee person, but especially when it's trimmed up, she's good.
Yeah. You look good, brother.
Thank you.
Well,
welcome.
Jonathan, I have to say one more connection that you have with me. My dad's name is actually Jonathan.
That's why your dad is as special as he is.
Ain't got nothing to
do with him bringing you into this world.
That's irrelevant.
That's the main.
Well, Jonathan, I was telling Kenan that any relationship that we've had in this business 20, 30 years ceases to become competition. It is mutual survivor, mutual admiration. So we have had that relationship over the years. And you're still here doing it. And so first, congratulations. And what are you up to now?
Oh, well, okay. Aside from being the first gospel male exotic dancer,
we probably should introduce you as people know you as a comedian.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to go for the next.
That side of it.
Yeah.
For the next 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so.
Let me tell you, man. The first thing I'm doing is I'm embracing the fact that I've graduated from being skinny to just being slim because I've gained a few pounds.
That's good. Looks good on you.
Now, is your name Kenan or Keenan, ma'am?
Kenan.
Kenan, you don't know this, but I've been like 130 pounds my whole life.
Wow.
Ever. and I got my COVID gut, and I'm happy. Like I really want to be shirtless right now, but I don't want to do that.
It took a pandemic to give you a gut. That's amazing.
Yeah, it did.
Well, I have been following you for years, so I have watched your progression. So I have, it's not our first meeting, it's the first meeting in person, but I have followed you for a while. Been to your performances and everything.
Oh, I appreciate that. But as far as what I'm doing, man, I'm just I moved back to Atlanta. I was in LA for a little over 30 years. I was there being, at that time, husband and always father. My son is now 18. He'll need no more. So
actually, he really needs you now.
Well, I mean, in this respect, as far as this, but I mean, as far as me being physically there. So I came back to Atlanta. Things are popping in Atlanta, as you know.
Good.
So I just thought I'd be a part of that. And then the bigger pictures that my mom got early signs of Alzheimer's. I want to be.
Oh, okay. Understood. Understood. And you know what's funny is because I know Jonathan so long, I just jumped to what you're doing now because I just assume everybody knows your history. Give us a quick snapshot of how you got going in this game, in this hustle.
Quick, the short of it is, so I went to Oakwood College when it was a college. It's now OU. It was at that point that I knew I had this gift. I didn't know how I was going to use it. But there was a thing that happened there and let me know. So I started doing that. I left Oakwood, came back to Atlanta, started working in corporate America, and I was emceeing gospel concerts. And at that time, I had never heard of comedy in anything spiritual or other. So I was doing it in Atlanta. Then I started traveling. And then this brand new group came on the scene called Take Six. They did a concert in Chicago. And I was asked to come in to MC it. And it was successful. And the then manager, Gail Hamilton, said, I like this combination, let's put it together. So I started doing some dates with them.
Okay.
And then one day I looked at my check from being 15 minutes of funny with Take Six. I looked at my check from AT&T, and I was like, dear AT&T.
I quit.
Bank.
And that's when I decided this is what I'm gonna do. So big thanks to my brothers, Take Six.
Wow, I did not know that connection. That's cool.
Absolutely. And there's some early days, and that's where the comedy, that's where the true history, that's where the stuff. When we were both out there trying to figure this thing out on the road, opening for each other. I literally remember being on stage, and this was actually more recently, and we had already started our set, and Jonathan ran back on stage to make an adjustment on one of our clothes, talking about wardrobe malfunction. So we have been locked and loaded for a minute.
Oh yeah.
So Jonathan, I have to ask, because honestly, I have done a couple of shows with comedians, gospel comedians. And I know that's a different genre and a different way of handling comedy. So what made you choose, and what do you like and not like about being a Christian comedian versus, say, just a secular comedian?
Well, I love that question. And let me just begin by saying I don't work under those titles anymore.
Okay.
I am Christian. I love gospel, but like the church folks say, my territory done been enlarged. So
right.
I cater to people who embrace clean and just funny. Unfortunately, at the time when I came on the scene as being the architect of all things gospel comedy, there was no branding in place.
Right.
Okay. Brand it. So it kind of came and it grew, but it grew in a way that people really didn't know what it was. So you hear gospel comedy, they're gonna talk about Jesus walking down the street and the disciples came up to Jesus, and that's what they thought it was gonna always be.
Right, the whole thing.
It wasn't that. And then as it turned out, a lot of comedians, became saved and gave their life to Christ. And so their comedy became what they called their ministry. And then, so what happened is these comedy shows were services. They were having altar calls and laying on the head, all this. And at a comedy concert, I'm like, that ain't what I was signing up to do. Right. So I backed away from that because I'm quick to say that comedy for me is not ministry. It's who I am. It's ministry. I choose this form of comedy because I know I can say 5 cuss words and get paid 8 times more money. And so my ministry is I choose to give this kind of presentation regarding my material and the way that I present myself as a Black man.
Just educate me right quick. Is there a difference between comic and comedian?
See, that's one of those words I don't really know. People like to make it deep and say you're a comedian woman. I don't know. For me, it's both the same. The thing is, if you're able to stand in front of a group of people and bring them comedy and content and make them laugh and have them feel good about themselves, then that's what it is. So how you want to call it, comedian or comic, it's on you.
Yeah, I think comic is just a new version of the comedian, honestly. But I do think that there's a big market, in my mind, for people who do want to hear clean comedy. That they don't have to be Christian comedy, it's just clean comedy. You just don't always want to hear a bazillion curse words or foul stories or whatever. But I think there's that market.
Yeah, and that's true. Yeah, and I found that out, of course, later on in life, because as I learned that people will spend money for things that are like them. You know, it's like it's a person's preference, and that's why I'm an advocate for choice. You know, I tell people all the time, stop bashing things that you don't like. Just don't support it and find what you do like.
Right.
You know, I don't like acapella music with 3 people. Well, then you want to fix.
Right.
You got to take, you know, make a choice.
So, Jonathan, one thing also that people that have seen you live know that you have an amazing sense of style. Jonathan literally dressed me for my wedding. He's got to take 6 straight. He is that dude. He is that dude. I would love to see your closet at some point. But that's just you, or is that a conscious choice? Because you put the two together, and it seems like there's a whole wave of cats that do that now.
I appreciate that. Press the rewind. Back in the day, I thought I was gonna be a model. I tried it. That was in the day when the male model was tall and thin. And fast forward, them brothers started taking the shirts off.
They don't sleep, they just do push-ups.
Yeah, right. Not that. But I guess what stayed on me was, you know, I have a heart for people who support what we do.
Right.
And I just believe if you're gonna spend money to come see me, I'm not gonna come out there in my jeans and t-shirt. I just think it's for me, it's just not a good look. And so I kind of take the you know, the way it was from way back in the day with Sammy Davis and Wilson and all these
class.
I mean, they dress, and not because they were wanting to be into fashion, but look at the audience, you know.
Right.
I opened the last couple of years for Aretha Franklin, and she came out on stage full gowned and orchestra, and she gave it to the people.
Right.
I take offense when people, musicians, not a cappella, but people who come out on stage and they sing the tracks and they don't pay $80 for that ticket. I'm ever gonna do that.
Right.
That whole thing as far as what would the audience want. So I present myself in a way, you know, that I want to look well, and I enjoy, you know, getting what I call my uniform together for performances, and people seem to appreciate it.
Well, you know, I think it's changed too, because you mentioned Aretha coming out in full gown, but I think at one point we had to represent extra on another level, because we were being put out there in very small spots. So we need to make sure we look good and didn't have that reputation of, oh, they come dressed any old kind of way, look any old kind of way. I'm sure you had to have that pressure. Both of you guys probably had to have that.
Yeah. But you know, and again, some of this came from our being pretty much raised at Oakwood. Like Oakwood, a certain way. You know, I have one thing, and Benny, you remember this. We had this thing about honoring women. Like if we were in the cafeteria, 10 guys at a table talking about the game, whatever, blah, 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 blah. A woman stepped to the table. I don't care if she was a Holly Berry or Aunt Jemima off the box, whatever. All 10 brothers stand up. We would stand up.
Oh, wow, really?
Without question. It's the first
wow.
We stand up, and now when I do that, like women are so, oh my God, he's so sweet. Like I was raised that way.
Right. I open the door for my wife, and people in the parking lot are like,
yeah.
This is my wife. Yeah.
But I also know that he would do it for any woman, because if a woman opens the door, you open the door for the woman. Just something like that. We were brought up and we were trained that way from the great lands of Oakwood College.
So how do you blend the cutthroat Hollywood me or you versus this well-raised, good brought-up sees cat. How do you meld that together? Because I know clean Christian comedian, whatever, I know the comic hustle must be brutal backstage and all of that kind of stuff. And even though you work with these guys, is there still a bit of a cutthroat element, or is it better now?
Well, actually, I guess I never really spoke on this before. I was never a part of the comedian fraternity because so all of us, most of us, we got our big start off of HBO's Def Comedy Jam.
Right.
And everybody took that stage and then they went their various paths and roads. So, but we were all considered Def Comedy Jam comedians. At the end of it, I didn't really fit the mold. And from there, like everybody's doing this, but I went over there. I went somewhere far from that, not intentionally, but I had to find my stage. I could fit in there. I was good for TV.
Yeah.
I got on because the second year they were saying it was so successful. There was some concerns. Okay, is there anybody out there that can do this without all that cussing and all that?
Right.
I had done some dates with Martin Lawrence, and he said, one guy, he killed it. And Martin got me on the second year.
Okay. Very cool.
So that was that. And so because I was in that gospel Christian world, I was entering places that had never heard of a comedian being there. So the doors were open wide for me. Like they just like handed me a lot of situations. And so I didn't go to the comedy clubs and the janky promoters and money. None of that. You know, I was doing corporate. I was doing big stage concerts, and then now all that has changed in that I mostly host events. That's my main thing right now because people know, they finally realize that when you have events, that MC is the one that really makes things flow.
He's the glue, absolutely. Or
improperly.
Yeah,
you know, shout out, I love to all these TV news journalists. They're great at what they do, but they don't always make the best MCs and hosts.
Right.
Read scripts, but many times things happen at events and concerts and all that. You know,
most times things happen at events.
Things happen, and you need someone to stretch, you know, and you don't want somebody that's going to start talking about people in the audience. I'm a person, I look at my audience, I figure out who's there, and I do everything I do to that audience. So now as I've learned, a lot of comedians of note know who I am, but highly respected because many of them in their early years were not allowed to listen to and watch other comedians, but their mama said, I got this Jonathan Slocumb VHS. I want you to watch it. That's what I want you to do. Like this guy Lou Real and Chris Tucker, all these guys, they watch it. I'm like,
that's amazing.
So now when they see me, it's the most I'm doing this in respect and all that kind of thing.
That's very cool. Very cool.
So what do you think has changed between? Oh, I'm sorry. What do you think?
No. Go ahead. I got one that I've been waiting to ask Jonathan for 20 years, so I can wait 5 more minutes.
Well, I just had the question because he was talking about a lot of things that started alluding to then and now. So what do you think has changed most between the old way of comedy and now, and then which way do you see it going forward?
Oh well, that the wide world of social media and internet has completely changed the game. Back in the day, you had to get on the stages and be seen by the TV producers at this club or that club or whatever. Now it's a matter of you putting up. There are guys and women now who will do a 2-minute or 1-minute reel, something funny, and they'll get 1 million views, and they're on tour right after that.
Right.
But unfortunately, in some cases, many of them don't have a lot of material. They just come up with great ideas.
Right.
It's different from going on stage to do something. So things are different, but like I'm about to start making a statement about people talking about passing the torch. I don't believe in passing the torch. I believe in lighting the next torch. Because I'm still have my torch. You ain't taking my torch.
Exactly.
And there are a lot of people who want me to hold this torch. Now, it may not be as bright. It may not be as many people, but I'm still here. My motto is,
this little torch of mine.
I'm blowing up my torch yet.
Let it shine. My motto is, I ain't dead, so I ain't done.
Right. My mom years ago was always mad at James Earl Jones for not getting out of the way and giving me a chance. And I got in the business. I'm like, Mom, ain't nobody getting out the way. It's all about you. Yeah, you better find your own. I made my own. You better get
Exactly
your own.
right.
That's
Exactly
funny.
right.
So I got two questions. I got a controversial question, and then I got a heroic question. You
Okay.
can take your dealer's choice. You tell me which one you think you can handle.
Okay. Oh, either one. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Do, do, do.
All right. What is the vibe now that one of the most classic, iconic, clean comedians has taken a mighty tumble? Mr. Cosby. Where do you guys, I mean, he's accomplished what he's accomplished. He gave, and he was the icon for so many people. What do you put those two, how do you put those two together? What do you, how do you reconcile those two? I see that.
Oh, wow.
See that? Yeah.
Nice.
I actually have one too. I actually have a thing with Mr. Cosby as well.
Let me tell you something, man. That's a really sensitive thing for me because I guess like in everything, you have to separate like the business from the person or the guy. You know, in my heart, forever, he's the reason why I'm here today.
Right. Right.
God is number one in my gift, but people, when they see me, they know that I'm a direct result of the comedy and the business of Bill Cosby. Yeah. Now, everybody got their demons, and everybody, people got the stuff they done in the closet, whatever. I can't be responsible for that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's on them. And if you're guilty or not, the courts will decide. And he did his due diligence. I don't condone the things that he was accused of. That aside, the most brilliant comedic mind ever is in the head of Bill Cosby. His philanthropic, he and his wife's, ability to give without any kind of hesitation, to applaud it. Again, what he did or didn't do, I'm sorry, but this man is, I will always laud him.
Yeah, I think in the world of entertainment, that's a hard pill to swallow because you've learned that. I mean, I love him too. So you've learned to have that person be in your mind a certain way. So then when something else comes up, you're like, okay, yeah, he is human and he has faults and we don't know him like we think we know him. And we weren't there. So, it's a whole separation of thought, but it's hard to just not throw the baby out with the bathwater and say disrespect him. But at the same time, if we did it was such, then it's disrespectful. So, it's, it's a hard pill to swallow. I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing, with, we both know Magic Johnson personally. He announced what he had and how he got it and all that.
People threw him under the bus. Yeah.
Threw him right up under the bus. But at the end of the day, he is a Hall of Fame basketball superstar. Again, a very giving person. And he did what he did. Consequences is what he has.
For all of us. For all of us.
All of us. For all of us.
Yeah.
And so life goes on, and best for everybody.
Well, that segues into my part 2 question then.
Yes,
your Mount Rushmore of comedians. Give me 4 guys that just you will buy their ticket, just buy a ticket to see him twice on Sundays.
All right. Hey, y'all about to be shocked.
All right.
All right. Right now, number 1, Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not shocked.
Number 2, Cat Williams.
Wow. Okay. That I'm shocked with.
The list is heavy.
Brilliance personified. Again, what he does, he's not on stage, that's one thing, but that booker, his brain.
Yeah.
Number 3, Chris Rock.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And number 4, Sinbad.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That is an interesting mix.
Yeah, now.
That is, really.
Sinbad has always been at the top for me. But unfortunately, he's ill now. And he's dealing with a whole lot. But so with him being absent, the resurgence and the continuation of seeing certain people out front, it kind of, puts him down a few notches. man, that Dave Chappelle, man.
I was going to ask you about, because he's kind of getting into more of an observational kind of humor thing now. It's not the slapstick kind of stuff. And he'll sit there and tell us an amazing story, and at the end, maybe there's a little anecdote that'll make you chuckle a little bit. But he's got you wrapped for 15 minutes, and as he's doing the ride. Is that what does it for you, or?
Well, that too, but you know, comedians who can manage to come up with a single line that makes your brain explode.
Yeah, great writers. They're great writers.
Yeah,
and what you have seen with Dave Chappelle is what I just spoke about earlier. The man is growing. Like maturity causes you to make some real changes in your life.
Right.
As far as how you assess things or how you perceive things, it's just different when you are older and you got that kind of money.
Yeah.
when you got that kind of money, ain't much you cannot say.
Yeah.
What happens when comedians lose their edge? Because you're saying as he's maturing, he's getting more. He's less funny, but he's more entertaining. He's as funny, but more entertaining. But there's some guys that, as they season, they lose their edge, and they're like, he's like,
Well, I don't know if they lose their edge. What happens is, it's like when you become more seasoned, your audience changes too.
True.
It's like when Dave Chappelle first came on the scene, he had a fan base.
Right.
And they grew just like he did. Now he has some younger people now just because he's controversy.
Yeah.
But you know, your fans follow you. So if you have fans that were in their 20s and you're in your 40s, but they're in their 40s too.
Right.
And in their 40s, they have settled down some. It doesn't take as much for them.
Right.
You know, the money is different. They don't mind spending $80, $90 for a ticket. No problem. So the whole fan base, everything changed, not just him. And he's still funny, but funny now is relative because people got all kinds of levels of who and what is funny. I've heard people say just vehemently, what's his name? Kevin Hart is not funny.
Interesting.
Well, you know, I hear you say that, but he just packed an arena with 100,000 twice.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's why I always tell people, find what you like, support what you like.
Right.
But I think also Dave Chappelle, as you guys mentioned, that he was able to mature and let that shine. But I also think he was able to take risk and say things that he couldn't say before, right? You got to walk in the door. You can't walk in the door being controversial in our space, right? So you have to kind of walk in the door and kind of gently feel it out and do the stuff that you guys accept and still be funny. But now he can kind of take those risks because people are actually paying him to be risky almost.
And I was going to say again, you can take the risk when you don't need the money.
Yes.
Right.
If I say certain things, I got to be very careful because I'm still wanting to be called on by promoters and TV people because of, even 30, 35 years in the business, I'm still on the come up.
Well, have you written or have you gone to go for the kill and in writing a joke and you're like, let me not say that, or been written the joke and be on stage and at the moment of the kill, let me not go there.
Let me tell you the funniest thing, Benny. This is hilarious to me. So I did a comedy recording that I recorded at Pastor Otis Moss's church in Chicago, Illinois. And so I did this joke. I used to do this joke about Michelle Obama. This is when Barack Obama had just been elected.
Yeah.
And I made reference to this knit dress that she wore on one of the debates or whatever. And it was form-fitted.
Right.
And the statement I made was, when you look at Michelle Obama, you can tell she has a beautiful future behind her.
A beautiful future behind
her. So,
that's good.
Now to hear that in this day and time, that is so not.
Yeah, they're not going for that.
Vulgar. But I don't know about that. If you consider what other comedians are saying, there's much more.
Right.
So when I did that record, it was picked up by the family Christian bookstores or whatever. Yeah. And they looked at the thing and they saw that and they took me off the shelf.
Really?
Really? They couldn't just edit it out, that one line?
No. When they buy product, They don't go in and edit. They just, that one joke when they saw it.
Wow.
All the stores across the country.
Oh man.
Yeah, but but it's okay because I know that certain places, certain things are considered offensive, and in time. So
how did they take it live? How did the room do with it?
I mean, the room loved it, because those bookstores don't really cater to us,
Say no more. Say no more. Right.
My audience is 98% us.
Right.
And that joke always kills because everybody knows. Yep, Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know exactly what you mean.
It was a cultural joke.
Yeah.
Right.
Some things can go better culturally. So yeah.
Well, do you find that you have to maneuver that line and always kind of make sure you're staying on the right side of that line, or is that just like, I'm over it, whatever?
No, because see, for me, I'm not that guy anyway. So material that I have, or things that I'll do on stage, those kinds of scenarios and situations don't even surface because I don't talk about them. I figure, a couple of things like politics. I don't talk about politics. It's 195,000 comedians who make a living off of that. God bless them. That ain't my thing. I don't talk about sexual things. That ain't my thing. I believe in it, but it ain't my thing to talk about. So I stay in my lane. I'm more of an observational thing. Most times when I'm doing events and I know who my audience is, I cater it to that audience. When I did something for the National Dental Association, it was all about halitosis and gum breath and bad teeth, and I go there. So I ain't got time to talk about
20 minutes on halitosis.
I ain't got time to talk about other stuff. I'm trying to get these people to understand the importance of proper dental hygiene.
Right. Man, that's so great. Tell us what's on your writing desk. What is on your, it's coming, I got his treatment, I'm going to get this meeting with this person, and boom.
Okay, this is going to be shocking, Vinny.
I'm with you. I'm ready for you.
Shocking again.
Okay, so this is kind of like a confessional.
Okay.
I've never had representation legitimately, or never had I had a, sit down and write stuff. It ain't been me. Like I've never ever really done it. I have ideas, put some things down, but I've lived a complete career off of 100% favor.
Wow.
Like nothing but favor of people in favor of God.
Wow.
And
that's beautiful.
I mean, it is, but then again, the shoulda, woulda services. So 2022 is going to be a pivotal year for me. Okay. Because I'm going to go full-fledged, full stream ahead for something I've always wanted to do, and I've been afraid to, and kick it off right here, right now. Watch you speak it into existence, Jay. Yeah, and I just happened to ironically come across on YouTube. I'm going for Arsenio's slot. I want that late night slot.
Oh wow, we need it again. Great. But
here's the thing, I am unabashedly pro-Black. I'm not anti anything else, but people, they don't really know us. They know that 12 people that they've allowed to come into their worlds, mainstream. But we got stories and we got people that we still love. We're not absolutely. I'm not into culture cancellation. I ain't into that thing. Right. And I'm going to. I've already formulated the whole format, but it's something that I think is needed. It's time for them to see a Black man, a real Black man. Sure. Represent a mature Black man who embodies both the young energy of the millennials. Right. I still have that. And I have the wisdom and the knowledge of mature adults. And you bring that together on a stage for an hour. I ain't gonna be playing no games and all this stuff. But no, Arsenio and Oprah didn't play games. They had conversation. Right. I want to return to that great music every night. I think you have your elevator pitch right now. It's just a matter of
beautiful.
I absolutely can see this. Exactly right. And I mean, and you know that. And I've sat on it for years, just, you know, twiddling my thumbs and being nervous. I'm like, my name ain't big enough and I ain't got enough followers. And I've been all in my head, but I'm like 2022.
Well, brother, let me give you this right now. One thing I have learned in these years, 30-something years, right? Lockstep with you. Ken has been in this struggle as well, is that no one ever gives you permission to be great.
Ever.
It never happens. You don't get that phone call. You don't get that knock on the door. You just got to know who you are and you got to go for it without excuse, without apology, and write it down, bring it into existence, bring it before the Lord. We're believers, and it will happen. It will manifest.
I believe.
And we are speaking it into existence for you for 2022.
Absolutely.
I believe that. I want that to happen. And Vinny already knows this part too, but I must have that G-Wagon. I got to get it.
There's one waiting for you. They make new ones every year, brother.
The G-Wagon?
Yes, Lord.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
It's coming.
What's a G-Wagon?
That's a Mercedes truck.
The big truck.
Oh, okay.
Square one. Vinny has, I think, 2 or 3 of them by now. But he had one matte black one that
Maybe he can lend you one for 2022.
No, you go push that bar up, brother. You gonna get a new one?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Yes, sir.
Slow cooking.
That's it.
But Jonathan, we want to thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing. And we are wishing you the best. And thank you for everything you shared with us today.
Thank you. And by all means, people, please follow me on all the social media.
Please give us all give us all your socials.
Your social media.
So the Instagram is I am Jonathan Slocumb, JONATHAN SLOCUMB. The Facebook is Comedian Jonathan Slocumb. Twitter is I am J Slocumb. And Cash App is $JSLOKE. If you feel inclined to sow into the ministry.
Jay, love you, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this. It's been an honor. Thanks so much.